Hail, and welcome to my Journey Through Norrath series. In this episode I'm going to take you through the Depths of Darkhollow expansion, zone by zone, to show you how to get around. Let me go ahead and hop on my Howardly here and I'll show you what's up. So as you can see, we need to go to Nektulos Forest in order to get to Corathus Creep, which then can go to Undershore, Ruins of Illsalin, and Stoneroot Falls. From there, we'll be able to go to the Dragnet Hive and the Dreadspire Keep. In order to access Nektulos Forest, we can start in the Plane of Knowledge here, and the Nariac Stone is right down here for Nektulos Forest. We're going to go ahead and click on that and we'll get started. Okay, so inside Nektulos Forest here, we'll want to follow this river here all the way to the west to the Corathus Creek zone line. Seem to have picked up some friends on my way. Oh boy. Okay, so in Corathus Creep here, there are several NPCs and instances and things along those lines for the Depths of Darkhollow expansion. I'm not going to really cover most of those. I'm going to go over that stuff in a different tutorial video here. So what we'll want to do here is we're going to want to make sure that we have Invis or Levitation. Levitation you can get from the marketplace if you want to. I use this berry wand here to give myself lev. And then I just use Cloudy Potions because they're instant casts. I'm also a Berserker, so I don't have spells. You can also use Invisibility if you have access to it, or Camouflage. We're just going to go ahead and run all the way through the zone here, straight west, through the little town, and all of the mushrooms. Lots of mushrooms down here. Once we get over to this waterfall here, you can zone into Corathus Creep by both going through the waterfall over here, or you can go over here to the side. Both of them will lead you to the exact same location. Alright, now we're in the Undershore. So, from the Undershore, we are able to access the Ruins of Illsalin, which are right down here. And then you have Stoneroot Falls over here. There are a couple ways to get into both of those zones. I'll also note that the Druid Circle and the Wizard Circle are the same location, right down here. You'll see some people down there. That's where you'll port in if you use the Guild Hall in order to get there. I'll show you that later here. So from here, we're going to go ahead and check out Ruins of Illsalin because it's just a one offshoot zone. Once again, Invis and Levitate, very useful for this. This little guy over here, he's important here. So normally, you would access Ruins of Illsalin in order to go in right over here. I'll show you this real quick here. Entering the zone through that will put you down here in the water, which not very optimal because there's lots of things in the water that want to kill you, and, well, lots of things in the zone in general that want to kill you. The zone has a lot of mobs that are just for the different quests and missions. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Undershore here. And I'll show you the better way to get into this zone. So, now that we're back in the Undershore, over here, we'll want to go up this ridge here, just around this pillar, and here we'll find the NPC Hourglass. As you can see, because there's no parentheses, I'm not invisible. You'll want to make sure you're not invisible when you do this. And you'll just want to type /say climb, or if your filter is set to just do say, type climb. And as you can see, this is going to enter us into the Ruins of Illsalin. And that will put us all the way up here. So So now we have access to go lots of places within this zone utilizing levitation. This is also one of the easier ways to get to some of the different instances, like the one over here, because it's across this bridge over this way. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and head back over to the Undershore here. That's just down over here, where this is where it puts you when you zone in from the water. From here, let me go ahead and get my Howardly back out here. From here, we're going to go ahead and invis, head up to the Stoneroot Falls. Most of the stuff in these zones doesn't see invis, so you should be safe to just run around. Having levitate and invis makes it a lot easier, but invis will get you where you need to go. So, for the Stoneroot Falls, you can enter by going over the waterfall here, or there's this little cave entrance to the side. Now this is where you'll zone back into this zone. It's the only way to get back in. But I'll show you here, when you go through the waterfall, you'll want to make sure you have levitate for this. And voila, we are in the Stoneroot Falls. However, as you can see, we are very, very, very high up. Now, over here is the waterfall, and right across this bridge right here is how you would get back over to Undershore from here, which, as you can see, is a bit of a climb. That's how you get back, is running up all of those bridges. Invis is your friend. Now, in this zone, there are several NPCs that help you with quests, offer missions. There's also mobs for those missions spread out within the different areas. Over here, you have a lot of the orcs, as well as an extra zone into the Dreadspire Keep, which I will go over later. And then you have the Hive down here in the south area. Now, there's this entrance right here in the north of this south area here that not a lot of people use, that I understand. It's an underwater entrance. It's sort of a backdoor to the Hive, but because of levitate, there's a lot easier ways to get into the different areas of the Hive that don't require using this back door. Put my invis back on. Oh, another thing I should note is when you come in from this upper area, there's an invisible wall up there. You have to go down to a certain height, like I am here, in order to walk around the zone. So that pool of water down there, that's how you get into the north side of this zone's entrance. But over here is where we want to go. The southern entrance to the Hive. Which, if you have levitate, you can just run along the wall and run in there. Otherwise, you would have to go through this arachnid-filled area and go up these bridges to come around and get here. Recommend having levitate and invis. Can't say that enough. This zone has several mobs and instances for the different missions and quests. There aren't any NPCs that give any quests that I'm aware of in here. There might be items that cause quests, I'm not certain. But the key here is getting to Dreadspire Keep. Now, Dreadspire Keep is a special zone. It's the final zone of the expansion, and it requires 4 tasks to be completed in order to get access to it. And that backdoor access I'll talk about in a moment here. So in order to get to the Dreadspire Keep, we're going to want to go ahead and run all the way over to this tower. This is one of the tricks with levitate here. Because we're superhuman, we can climb towers, apparently. Now that we're up here, we're going to want to go to the right of this first spire, or the east, and swing around. Just like this. And then, as you can see, we are now where all these paths go between the different spires. There's There's also lots of drachnids out here, but most of them should not see invis. If you run into a named, they might see invis, and that could be a problem. In that case, just run at top speed. Hope you can get there. So, right here, this spire here has the access to Dreadspire Keep. Once you complete those 4 tasks, you should be able to enter the zone, and then you'll get a specific achievement that allows you to continue to access the zone without having the key item that you got from those tasks. So let me run up here. It's this door here at the very top. Fortunately, there's no named or see invis up here this time, so I seem to be fine. And all you want to do is go over to this door and click on it. If you've done the 4 tasks and have the key item in your inventory, at this point you should get an achievement. Let's see here, the achievements for Depths of Darkhollow under progression, Dreadspire Keep Visitor. This is the achievement you should have gotten once you zoned in, as long as you completed those tasks that give you Treadlehoop's wonderful monocular scene device. I'll go over that in a different video. Dreadspire Keep is the final zone of the Depths of Darkhollow. This actually turns into a raid zone once your guild has completed the different missions they need to have access to request the raid expedition, the Demiplane of Blood, where you actually face off against Mayong Mistmore. Now, I'm not going to run too much into this zone because there are some undead see invis and I don't want to use up all of my different potions. I'm mostly just using this to show you the access. One of the most important things you can do once you have access to this zone is get a hold of a formal dinner invitation that can drop off of just about any mob in this zone from what I understand. Once you have the formal dinner invitation, I'm going to show you now how you use it. To start with, I'm going to go ahead and gate back to the guild lobby, and I'll also show you how to go from the guild hall to Undershore. Just go ahead and click on the guild hall door here and enter into the guild hall. Alright, now that we're in the guild hall, where you'll want to go is right over here in this back little corner. This here is the portal that'll send you places, and this is the guy that you use to go to those places. His name is Oakwynd or Lakanen. And as you can see in his inventory, he has all kinds of different gems. What we want is the Undershore. Another thing you can check for is down here. As you can see, the teleport stone is currently aligned to the Undershore, so I don't actually need to do this, but just to show you, Undershore Coral, as you can see on the lore tab, if you hand it back to him, or an assistant in the guild hall, this will align the teleporter to send you to Undershore. The same is true of all these other stones. If you want to know where they send you, you just click on it, go to the lore tab, and at the very bottom here, the end of the sentence, it should tell you what zone, or somewhere within this paragraph. So since it's already set to Undershore, I'm not going to do this, but what you would normally do is you would buy one of these. They don't stack, so you don't have to worry about it giving you more than one. And then you close this, pick the stone up, and just hand it right back to him, sort of like this. I'm not going to give him this, but... Alright, now what we'll do is we'll go stand over here, and eventually we'll get a prompt. The Crystal Geode is set to the Undershore. Would you like to travel there now? Click yes. Alright, now we're at that port spot in the Undershore here. As you can see, Druid Circle. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and pull out Howard Lee again. Make sure I'm invisible. I'm going to run from here over to the Stoneroot Falls. And I'm going to use the waterfall entrance again. It's a lot easier to get around the zone if you use the waterfall entrance. As long as you have Levitate. If you don't have Levitate, you will plummet to the bottom and possibly die, I'm not sure. You might land in water and be okay though. Alright, now that we're back here, once again, like I said, I'll show you this invisible wall problem. You hit a certain point, and you just can't move forward anymore. You'll just move left and right. So in order to fix that, you have to go down a little bit. Just go along the wall until eventually you'll start going forward again. Then you're fine. Now from here, you're going to want to go over to this western section over here. And you can see here it says Statue to Dreadspire Keep. That's our destination. navigate through all the different caverns here. Once again, levitate makes this a breeze. And right down there, you should be able to see the statue at this point. You zoom in so we can go down. Just going to click on this statue. As long as you've got a formal dinner invitation, once you click on this statue, as long as you have this achievement already, for doing those 4 tasks, you should be able to access Dreadspire Key. And then the formal dinner invitation will disappear, and you will have that achievement and be able to use the statue to enter from that point forward. Much easier than going through the Hive, so I highly, highly recommend getting a hold of a formal dinner invitation as soon as you have access to this zone. Should be #1 priority. Alright. That concludes our tour of Depths of Darkhollow expansion. I hope you are able to have an easier time getting through the depths now that you know how to go through the different zones. Have a good one.